Guys, hi, hello. Welcome to this series of Prepzone interviewing people who have considerably improved their CAT score from last year to this year. So today we have with us Jasvi, Sanket, and Chetna. So to give a background, Jasvi had 86 percentile in 2019, and that has increased to 99.48 in 2020. So that's a huge improvement. And coming to Saket had 62.92 in 2019, and in CAT 2020, considerable improvement to 98.28. And for Chetna, she had 70.18, and in CAT 20, it has improved to 98.04. So, guys, congratulations. That's tremendous improvement, and you guys have done really, really well. And we're here to discuss like what were you doing earlier which was not working for you and what changed after that and what strategies or tips and tricks you share with the incoming batches so that they can also be inspired from your story and they can probably improve their school as well. So anyone, if you should like to go first.
Yeah, so hello everyone. Yeah, this is Ojasvi. So my strategies was pretty simple that I had a belief that I do not need to cover the syllabus because in 2019 when I went to write CAT, it I went with a state of mind that I need to see if I'll be able to do it in 2020 because when I started in 2019 I was working with Larsen and Toubro and I was working on site, so I didn't get so much time to prepare. I hadn't given any mocks in 2019, so I just took a clean slate and went ahead with CAT 2019. There I got to see that there are a certain points I need to work on when I came out of that exam. So I also gave that in 2019, and by chance I got a call from XLRA Jamshedpur for their HRM program.
Mhm.
So I gave the interview for that too. It was my only call that year, so I gave it all in, but unfortunately couldn't convert it. So when the result of Excel was out, I thought that I will have to do CAT 2020 this year. So I took the decision of quitting the job in July
Okay.
because I wasn't getting time. I had to go at 8 a.m. in the morning, and the out time was not fixed. It was 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and it was completely on site. So I was physically very tired. So I thought that I'll be quitting my job and will be giving it all in for CAT 2020. So my preparation basically started from August 1, 2020, and I directly started with mocks because it was my belief that I need not complete the syllabus because if I'll be involved in it, I'll be wasting too much time. So that's how it started. And then I found a couple of people who were from my college, BIT Mesra. They were also preparing together. So we formed a group and helped each other with our strategies because my strengths were their weaknesses and my weaknesses were their strengths. So we collectively prepared. We did sectionals of the past year mocks in time-based environment. Like if I'll say for VARC, we did when it used to be of 60 minutes. We gave two sectionals daily, and then immediately discuss them over Zoom or Google Meets, so that we get a fair idea of how to go about a particular option. Like if I've chosen a certain option, if it is right, डिड मतलब जैसा मैंने उसको चूज किया है ऑप्शन को, क्या वो सही तरीका था उस ऑप्शन पे को पिक करने के लिए.
Very
तो
important.
वो उसमें बहुत 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 हेल्प किया. और आई ऑल्सो
Mhm.
गॉट 2-3 डिफरेंट व्यू पॉइंट्स की किसी पर्टिकुलर बंदे ने इसको इस तरह से अप्रोच किया, शायद मैं भी इसको इस तरह से अप्रोच करता तो शायद मेरा टाइम बच जाता.
Mhm.
उस तरह से वी प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली for all of the three sections. Basically for QA we were doing it to maximize our scores because we were already at certain point कि मतलब we will be able to clear the sectional cutoffs because first primary motive was to clear the sectional cutoff, then maximize them for all of the three sections.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, yeah, so basically the
So
sectional mocks were
Jasvi,
my entire practice.
mhm.
Yeah.
Had you prepared for CAT earlier? in 2019. Did you prepare for it
No,
or
I
you?
hadn't prepared for CAT earlier. No, I hadn't prepared for CAT in 2019. I just filled the form. I thought that I'll be preparing for CAT 2019 with my job at L&T, but I couldn't do it.
Okay.
Uh, I didn't give a mock in 2019. I just
Mhm.
started my entire preparation in 2020 only. That too from August. Yeah, that too from August.
Okay. Okay. Fair
And my
enough.
entire preparation was mocks, sectional mocks, or the full length mocks only. I didn't
Okay.
complete any syllabus. I didn't join any of the coachings or any of the took any of the materials.
Very, very interesting story, Ojasvi. I'll come back to you,
Yeah,
but before that, I would like to hear from
yeah.
Sanket that what was your journey, Sanket?
So, first of all, I started my CAT journey in the month of September 2019. Okay,
Okay.
and the
Okay.
thing, I'm actually currently working with Reliance Industries as an operations
Uh-huh.
engineer. So,
Okay.
the thing was that I was not getting enough time. But for CAT 2019, in which I scored 62 percentile, my focus was majorly on quants. The thing is that there is this saying that engineers are not good at verbal. So,
Mm-hmm.
all my colleagues were preparing from my college days. It was like a kind of phobia towards verbal. So I was always scared of verbal. Always, I did
Mm-hmm.
not read anything till September 2019. No reading, nothing, no RC, nothing. I just went in the exam and gave my exam. I
Mm-hmm.
scored 37 percentile. Then I read this poem online, one poem of by C.P. Cavafy, which was asked in CAT 2003,
Okay.
Ithaca. The journey is actually more important than reaching the goal. So I got
Mm-hmm.
inspired from it, especially for verbal. And I tried to find out that what is with the verbal, like what they want to check. How can you increase the comprehension? And I don't know what happened to me. I drastically in 1 year from 2020 January to 2020 October, I read like 20 to 25 books. I became
Uh-huh.
an avid reader, and everything changed. The way we see verbal section is completely different when we see it from CAD perspective and we see it from learning perspective. Like reading
Understood.
never ever will let you in bad thing. Reading will always improve you. So when you are solving an RC, you should be solving that RC not for getting more score. You should be solving because you're enjoying that RC. So enjoying the RC, learning new things. And when you read an RC for yourself, for your excitement, that excitement of reading, and then you attempt the questions, you will definitely get them right, because what the author is trying to make you believe, you are going deep into that. You are going deep into that. So this is what I like. My verbal score increased from 37 percentile to 98.38 percentile. So this was my verbal journey. NRDI was more of normal. I was practicing sectionals. My major focus was on sectionals, though I
Mm-hmm.
scored bad in CAT 2020. But although I was scoring good in SimCats and all the other sectionals, that might be a fluke. I got a bad score, that's fine. For quants, I focused more on sectionals. And we have Quantum Cat, the book. Like I did not join any coaching. So I preferred Quantum Cat and just go through the concepts thoroughly, like especially geometry, arithmetic, and algebra. Like they found almost 80 to 85% of your course of quant, and number system and all other probability and permutation, they can be kept aside for bringing more marks. So I focused on three major topics: algebra, geometry, and arithmetic. And whatever I got in my quant, that all is due to all those three sections only. So this was my journey.
Good, good, Sanket. A very, very inspiring story. So inspiration can come from any place, and you found your inspiration in a poem. So that's very interesting. So what about you, Chetna? What was your journey like?
I joined time coaching in 2019, but
Uh-huh.
other than giving mocks, I wasn't taking it seriously. I just gave that 19 in a breezy way, but then the results came, and I thought I would at least do good in VRC because it was my strongest section. And I have been an avid reader since childhood, and I loved doing RC, as Sanket said. uh, but then I got close to 78 percentile in English in VARC, and that was a very big shock to me because I was good at it. I used to get 90% in VRC, percentile in VRC in mocks. But then I analyzed what went wrong, and I came to the conclusion that I was basically overconfident. I solved all five RCs because of my kind of ego, and then my confidence went very low after that because this was my safe bet in CAT. So for Cat 20, I didn't join any coaching. I only took mocks and I did self study. For RC, I used to do 5 RC daily, and for DLR, I used to do 8 DLR sets daily because in DLR section, the thing with me was if I got the first set solved in 15 minutes, I would do the whole section properly. But I didn't get it. Then the whole section went in flames. So I used to do at least 4 DLR section daily and then 8. But in quant although being an engineer, quant was my Achilles heel. Um, when I give mocks, when I used to give mocks, even then my brain went all frozen. It still goes all blank and frozen. Even though I can solve questions normally, but during that time. So for that, I used to practice in time limit. Even when I used to practice, I used to set time limit in quant. So I did that, and I didn't had much time for CAT because I was in my final year in 2020, and due to COVID, my final semester exams were getting continuously postponed. It got postponed like 3 or 4 times. So added burden, added stress of that. I properly started my preparation from September. Prior to that, I was only studying like 3 to 2 hours daily, but I got in practice after September. So in Cat 20, VRC came, and I didn't give in to my ego. I solved only the sets that I knew I could solve properly. And although philosophy RCs were my strength, I left that RC in VRC because I knew that this although being more accurate, this would take more time, and I'm pretty proud of that. I made the right choice, and I got 99.58 percentile in VRC. In DLR, I got 96, and I was able to solve 2 sets. And but yeah, that was I think okay. DLR went okay, but in quant, my brain again went all frozen, and I was able to score 85. But that was, I think, that was enough to clear cutoff for all colleges.
No, very well said, Chetna. It's very important that you realize which questions to choose and which questions not to choose, and that comes with practice. So you might take it on your, like you said, you might take it on your ego. Ki, why am I not able to solve this? I will solve this, but that actually does more harm than good. You end up wasting a lot of time. So the return versus the risk becomes very low because you're putting in a lot of time. You do solve it, but for 3 or 6 marks, you spend a lot of time, more time. So if I could just get your backgrounds as well. So Ojasvi and Sanket, I'm guessing you both are engineers because you guys said we were weak in VARC. And Chetna, I guess, I'm guessing you are not an engineer, right?
No, I'm an engineer.
You are an engineer with
Yeah.
good English. Wow, rarely we've seen that. People, the general trend is that engineers are not good at English. They're good at maths and quant. So I am an engineer myself, and I used to struggle with maths. with me, it was a little opposite. So again, I feel that you have to identify your strengths and identify your weaknesses, and which you guys did. So you guys started giving mocks, and you started understanding what your problem areas were, and very aptly put by all three of you that you started doing timed mocks, so timed sectionals. So that is also very important, and you need to understand that in CAT it's all about time management and picking those questions in the given amount of time to maximize your score. So So it's a mathematical function actually, if you look at it, very time dependent. So coming to you, Ojasvi, when you said that you left your job, it's a very big decision. So how did you decide upon that? Why did you decide upon it? And again, then you said that you hadn't prepared earlier and you started right away by mocks. So what was the plan over there?
So, first of all, upon quitting the job, uh, when the Excel, as I had earlier mentioned, that when the Excel result came out, because my interview went like that, I'll be converting Excel this year, not in the first convert list, but I'll be getting a wait list that will be convertible. But
Hmm.
it didn't happen. So
Okay.
I thought that I should do it this year. And if I'm going to be the part of L&T, like I was in 2019, then I'll end up at the same place. Because when I joined L&T in 2019, I was in the initial stage of my job, so there was no work pressure. Everyone used to give me a little time to understand things,
Hmm.
to uh, are lesser responsibilities to be more specific. But when you'll be to 12 months or 13 months into the organization, you will be asked to perform a lot of functions. You will be assessed on what you will do during the entire course. So I thought that if I'll be a part of L&T, then I might end up at the same place or even below it. And if I have to do CAT 2020, then I should quit the job, because if I'm doing it for another year, I might lost my touch
Hmm.
with all the sections that are going to be a part of CAT. So yeah, that was a big decision because the pandemic was going on and I didn't had any backup plans apart from that job or to give the CAT. So despite of that, I quit the job. I had asked my company that if there was the chance of giving any sabbaticals or to give me leave on non-payable basis, but they denied. So I quit the job. Then as everyone knows now that I am an engineer, I had a good command over quants. So that was one of the sections that I wasn't worrying much about. It was just about the practice that if I'm solving a question earlier in 3 minutes or 4 minutes, I need to bring it down to 2 minutes, then 1.5, and then 1 minute. It was just about the practice for quants. Likewise, goes for BILR, because if you are reading a statement by statement and decoding it line by line and writing it, then it will be easier to decode. So quant and DILR was not much of my worries. The only worry for me was VARC,
Hmm.
and the amount of time I gave for VARC was exactly thrice I gave for quant and DILR combined. So uh, for VARC, the sectionals that I have mentioned in the time-based environment of the past year mocks, that became game-changing just just during the mocks, or when I'll be giving the sectional test. The results were coming up front. That I was scoring a pretty good score, that I'll be able to clear the sectional cutoffs. And from the beginning, I had a thought that I just have to clear the sectional cutoff for VARC, that is above 85, and rest I'll be maximizing in DILR and quants to have an overall percentile uh, good, so that I'll be able to get a few calls this year. But eventually, it didn't end up like the way I wished. Uh, about the point of starting directly with the mocks, as I mentioned, that I didn't want to indulge myself in the theory, because if I will be into it, I'll be giving my 1.5 months or two to cover the entire syllabus. And if you have that confidence that by leaving the entire syllabus and giving directly the mocks, you'll be able to pick out your weaknesses and strengths, then it's not a pretty bad option to go ahead with that too. So yeah,
No,
for starting
obviously I
that mocks,
agree.
that point was
I
yeah.
agree with you because sometimes, so you did not have the luxury of time. So many times, when you start early, probably in March, April, or even before that, you can study the syllabus, study specific sections, and then go for it. But you started in July or August, and the CAT happens in November. So you had roughly 3 months, and in 3 months you had to give mocks also. And so that strategy does work, where people start giving mocks. and they start understanding what is working for them and not working for them, and then they concentrate on those parts. So that's definitely a strategy. So Chetna, you are a fresher, right? So you started your CAT preparation pretty early, I'm guessing. And similarly, Sanket, for 2019, you started very late. I believe September is when you started, but
Yes.
you realized what was going for you and what was going against you. So when did you guys start your preparation for CAT 2020?
I think for me it was um, during March that I started with just going over basic formula, basic concepts, and as I said, I used to do VARs and DLR quite religiously, and
Mm-hmm.
quant also, but not. I was not giving it attention that much because my goal was to first maximize my VARs and DLR, because
Mm-hmm.
if if one thing goes wrong, then everything goes wrong in that. But in quant, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
So first, I gave my whole focus on that, and then during mocks, I started score pretty consistently, good score, good percentile. Then I shifted my focus to quant, and for that, I used to analyze everything. The one thing that I realized in my CAT 19 attempt, that I was not analyzing at all my mocks. So I
Mm-hmm.
used to analyze everything in quant, and if some different question that I didn't encounter before it came, then I used to make a notebook of that and write all the questions, because it will help me in future to revise, or what went wrong, if I am still clear of this concept or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have two notebooks full of that, of AIMCATs and SIMCATs.
Mm-hmm.
So that really helped me a lot. So I used to analyze everything, and during time with this, I think with this only, with this strategy to analyze everything, even if one basic calculation went wrong, why did it
Mm-hmm.
uh, go wrong, that thing. So I think during when October came, I was pretty confident in quant that I would at least be able to cross 80 percentile marks, and the
Mm-hmm.
rest depend on the day.
So again, I'm assuming you started doing mocks and analyzing them from June onwards, June, July.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I started from June.
What about you, Sanket?
So I actually started for my preparations in late April end.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
my major focus was, as I told, always verbal. I started with books like Guns, Jumps, and Steel, Thinking Fast and Slow, and Sapiens and all. So first of all, like for grabbing a good hold of reading, that was my first goal. Because as I told, that journey is more important in verbal. When you read, you should read for yourself, even in the CAT
Mm-hmm.
exam, not for getting more marks. Then only when can grab the point of author. So
Correct. Correct.
to get that habit, I involved myself completely in reading, like religiously reading for 3 to 4 hours, but for myself,
Mm-hmm.
not for cat. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. I was reading for myself to improve myself, not for,
Mm-hmm.
not like, it was not in my mind that I am reading this because I have to bring more marks. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
would have felt that, that might have affected me in a negative way. So I was reading for myself. So my majority portion of time I was giving in verbal, like April, May, June, like completely verbal. And then slow simultaneously I was brushing up on concepts. And for DILR, simultaneously some sectionals,
Mm-hmm.
sectionals continuously. Like in DILR, we don't need any kind of course or something, because it doesn't have a course actually.
Uh-huh.
So
Correct.
just continue practicing and all. So this is the way I went on.
So one point I can make out from all three of you is that you were giving mocks and you were continuously analyzing them as well. So for two of you, you were doing sectionals, and for Rajasvi, he was doing mocks and seeing what was going for and going against you. But one very important point, and which is common, is analysis of mocks is very important. So like Rajasvi had said earlier in his interview that he was not only looking at correct wrong answers, what he did wrong, but he was also looking at the correct answers, right? That what was working and if there was another way to do it. Similarly, for Chetna also, she was making notes that what was a new question for her, and probably she could revise that later on. And Sanket, you very well said that RCs are something where you need to understand the passage and you need to build that habit. So you were building that habit within your RCs as well, in your mocks, where you were reading not just for getting more marks, but for understanding and gaining more numeracy knowledge out of it. But yes, so but that's very very similar to what Three Idiots movie is all about. That run after excellence, success will
Yeah.
follow. Again, so how much time would you say that you dedicated to say it's a mock? How much time to the mock, and then how much time to analysis of that mock?
For me, it was like initially there were 3 hour mocks, and
Uh-huh.
for it analysis, it took me almost 6 to 7 hours on an average. 6 to 7 hours. Like that in quant, I did not need much analysis, but in verbal, like what I do in verbal, 34 questions are there. If like I will be analyzing all questions. Like if I'm getting the question right, then it should be by proper logic, not by
Ah,
a fluke.
yeah,
So for
correct.
verbal, it took me almost 2.5 hours to 3 hours analyzing, and DLR, the sets that I did not solve in the exam, just brushing up those sets. And quant was like in almost 1 hour, because quant I was good. I had a good grip in quant, so did not need much to revise in quant in mock analysis.
Okay, all right, all right. What about you, Jasvi and Chetna? How much time would you
So,
give?
so I will say that the analysis of mocks का timing जो है वो person to person depend करता है. Like I am saying that I was good at quants, so I didn't need much time to analyze for quant. Like it was just 15-20 minutes to see which question I went wrong, and mostly it was because of the silly mistakes or the plus and minus mistakes that I would have done because of the time constraint, or I was looking for scoring more. So for quants, it was never more than half an hour. For DILR, like there were eight sets in the beginning, so I used to go for 4 to 5 sets, and the remaining 3 sets, I used to have a look at them while I was giving the mock also. So during analyzing, I used to see that if I had attempted those three uh, sets which I had left during the exam, uh, if even if I've started them, where did I engage myself so much that it didn't follow up ahead? So for DILR, it was around an hour to analyze the correct ones that I've attempted, that whether the process was right or it was just a fluke that it went uh, that they went right. And for the those which I haven't attempted, to see if I've attempted that them during the exam and where did I stuck. For VARs, it took quite a lot of time for me, around 2 hours, so that I will understand that what the passage was about. If I was able to decode correctly what the author was trying to say, or he was trying to convey, or he was trying to let me explain uh, about the question or the passage in general. So yeah, for VARs it was 2 hours, for DILR it was an hour, and for quants it was half an hour. It
Okay,
completely depends upon person to person what
absolutely.
are his strengths or weaknesses.
But again, roughly it comes down to 4.5 to 5 hours and almost 6 hours, you can say, of
Yeah,
analysis. And not just looking
yeah,
at the
yeah,
questions you did or got wrong, but also which you did not get attempting those again.
yeah. And did not get them while attempting. Was it was more important where did I stuck. If you are not attempting it, it's completely fine. But if you are attempting it and then you are getting stuck at some point, it was more important, because either you lost some of the concepts or theory there, or it was because you are feeling pressure that I'll not, if I am, I'll be continue doing that question, I might not attempt some of the easy questions that will follow. So getting stuck where was a more important point for me.
Got it, got it. And Chetna, if you want to say something about analysis of mocks.
For VRC, it didn't used to take me more than a half hour, I think. And but for DILR and quant, I used to before seeing the solutions, I used to solve them again with the questions that went wrong and I didn't solve. So pretty fast, I came to know that okay, I was able to solve most of the question DLR and quant. The problem was optimizing my performance, and during that pressure, that clock was ticking, and you was glancing it every second. So question was that. So this boosted my confidence that okay, at least I'm able to solve. Now I have to do it according in the time limit.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to take me um, 5 to 7 hours of the whole mock analysis, because in the airline part I had to, solve again. And during 2 hour mocks, it used to take around 4 or 5 hours for me.
Got it. So if I were to summarize this, it takes roughly 3:2:1, 3 hours to analyze your weakest section, 2 for the next week, and 1 for your strongest. So roughly 6 hours is the average. So 5 to 7 hours we can say it takes to analyze a mock. Wow, 3 hours mocks and 7 hours analysis, 6 hours analysis. That's like almost a day's work. Yeah. So and you guys must have given at least 20, 30 mocks, I'm guessing.
Right.
So almost a month, dedicated full month of mocks every day without fail. Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Shows in your results as well. So that brings me to my next question: that how did Prepzone come into your lives, and how did it help you in your journey in improving these scores?
So I came to know about Prepzone from Pagal Guy after CAT 20 results were out. I
Mm-hmm.
was looking for a personalized interview experience
Mm-hmm.
GDPI course,
Okay.
and I got pretty much great reviews from people who joined this course last year. So I joined, and coming from an average background, average college, and average caste, I was pretty nervous about interviews from IIMs and IITs, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was. I was simply terrified at the start. So Mayuk sir, my mentor, he used to, soothe me, saying that "कोई नहीं, सब ठीक हो जाएगा, बस give your best." So he really supported me and drove out the fear that I had in my mind about IIMs and IITs. And also the daily group discussions that
Mm-hmm.
helped a lot, because I'm not a continuous newspaper reader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my GK is not very that good, so it helped me. It was very helpful.
Okay. Uh, Sanket, what
So
do you want to say?
there is one of my senior colleague. His name is Saurabh Rawat. So he
Okay.
was a very good friend of mine. We met during one of WhatsApp groups like randomly, and I got to know very good things from him. And I actually believed in him. He told me to join Prepzone for interviews, and blindfolded. I was just blindfold. He told me I joined, and it was a very good thing because for the first time I was facing interviews, and I had total 3 to 4 mock PIs. And
Okay.
the best part about the prep zone that I liked was the mentorship that they provide are like in one-on-one interaction. What were your flaws? Where did you stay back? And these all type of flaws, which are actually very necessary to be pointed out, that were always pointed out. One of my interviews was taken by Miss Avni, and one of my interviews was taken by Saksham. So in each interview, I learned a new thing, that what I am missing, where I am wrong. So that helped me a lot. I converted SCMHRD and I'm waitlisted in SIBM. Though I am repeating again this year, but
Okay.
Prepzone, like helping like Prepzone, I got a very good amount of help from Prepzone. Secondly, after the course, the best thing about Prepzone that I would like to say is, uh, currently I'm not a student of Prepzone, but still, if I am confused between something, joining anything, joining some college, any kind of doubt, I reach out to Mr. Shubham or any other like Prashant sir. Also, I reached out. Always, like they are always there to help. So that is the best thing about them. That though officially you are not connected with them, but they are still helping you out there and giving you suggestions. So that is the best part about the prep zone.
Okay. Actually, it comes to, we've been through the same process, so we know the anxiety you must be going through, and we feel that if someone had been there to help us, it could have been much better journey for us. That's what we try to pass it on forward. Ojasvi, what about you?
Yeah, so I first joined Prepzone during my Excel interview for that GDPI program.
Okay.
It was my only call, so I gave it all, and Jinal was my mentor then. So I prepared for it and then went on to give the interview, but I couldn't convert it. Later on, the Prepzone stayed I wasn't a part of their full course for CAT 2020, but even then they were there to help me out. I got to know a few people from the WhatsApp group, with whom I continued my journey to prepare for CAT 2020. I used to give them sectional mocks with them and then discuss with them, as I had mentioned earlier. So yeah, in providing me with the peer group, Prepzone played a very important role. And for GDPI 2020, also I joined Prepzone because I had the experience of last year, and I'll be joining IIM Shillong this year. So it was good.
Nice, nice. Thanks, guys, for the kind words. And so, just we are joining Shillong, but
Yeah.
Chetna and Sanket, you're going to prepare again for next year. So I believe you're fairly confident in your abilities now that you'll be able to do much better. So all the best to you, and just be all the best for your next 2 years. These two
Thank
years
you
are
so
going
much.
to be the best of your life, and there it'll never you never get such a time again. So enjoy, make the most of it. And to Chetna and Sanket, I'll just say that it's an opportunity you are taking for yourself. So give it your best, and you shouldn't have any regrets next year that maybe if you would have taken admission this year, then it would have been better.
Yes,
Don't
exactly.
have that regret, and give it your best. And if anything is needed, any guidance or any help you want, Prabhu is always there for you. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining, and it was
Vishwas,
wonderful.
I have
Yeah, yeah,
few
Prashant.
things for them.
Sure, sure.
So I haven't interacted much with Chetna, but from last few weeks, she's in continuous touch. So she's gaining confidence. When she joined, that she was very not sure about it, what to do. But now she knows what exactly to do in life, and if you know what to do in life, then you can crack any exam, either it's CAT or anything. But when you interact with Ojasvi or Sanket, so Chetna, if you are preparing, you should be in touch with Sanket, because Sanket is someone, he will be always giving you energy. Because when I took his mock PIs, whenever I interact with him, so he is very energetic. And when you hear his story, that he told me clearly that, sir, when I started my preparation, I was like very bad in VRC, but now it's my strength. So if anyone is thinking that VRC is bad or DLR is bad, he is the right person to contact. That how, if he can do that, anyone can do. And whenever you talk to him, the energy that he give you, the enthusiasm that he used to prepare with this, used to prepare, so this, like, it's amazing. So try to learn these things from Sanket. Ojaswi, he enjoys a lot. So he was the like he used to like give something to the whole group, not to his peer group, even to us also. So it's good that you guys are preparing in a like group. So if you find a good peer group, it's always becomes your strength. So this is the thing from my side. And just we are joining this year, so make the best use of 2 years. Just people are just joining B school because of placements, but you are going to the like one of the most beautiful campus in India. So enjoy that. You just placements will happen, these things will be there, but enjoy those. Like Northeast, very few people get the chance to live in Northeast, so you'll be getting the chance once college starts, or you will be called to campus. So enjoy that. And next year these three, like Cheta and Sanket, will also be joining some better B schools, even though this year they have converted, but they are not sure that why to settle for less, that I always say. So they can do better than this. Maybe they will be joining IIM Shillong or some better college and then that also. So all the best, enjoy your journey. And as Sanket, that process is more important than result. So if someone believes in that, then he or she is going to enjoy even in B school or before the B school. So all the best, guys.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Vishwas, I would just like to end with a thing. I to whoever is preparing for CAT 2021, I have personally experienced that CAT is not a test of your test of your intelligence. It's always a test of your calmness and composure. Because in CAT 2020, we saw whoever remained calm during the entire course of 2 hours made it to any of the B schools, whether he or she will be joining or not. But they have made some mark if you remain calm and composed during your test. and mock scores will always be increasing or decreasing. My first mock score was 57 of 300, and so don't get too overwhelmed with the high scores or the low scores. You are going to land up somewhere if you believe in the process, and always believe that I always believe a quote, "Kal fir subah hogi," because every time you sleep, you wake up with a different attitude towards the day. So yeah, whoever is preparing, कल फिर सुबह होगी. अगर आज अच्छा गया है तो कल हो सकता है अच्छा ना जाए, आज बुरा गया तो हो सकता है कि कल बहुत बढ़िया हो. So
Very, very well said, Ojasvi. Very, very important that you maintain your calmness and composure during the 2 hours that you're giving to that paper.
yeah,
Your entire year's preparation depends on those 2 hours. So very, very, very well said, yeah, Ojasvi. So thank you for those words. And with that, we end this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
thank you so much, Vishwas. Thank you so much, Prashant sir.